And when we whoop enough ass, everybody gonna get in line and do right.
All right, peace and blessings, Assalamu alaikum, shalom, welcome, everyone. We are live, and our topic today is the lies of the land. Now, all of those who was with us last Sunday who went back, or those who went back and watched it, the program last Sunday saw that we had some historical questions going around. And today we are planning to tackle those historical challenges and come up with what is the truth versus what is the lies. The call-in number is running across the screen, so you can always call in and understand. But when we're talking about the lies of the land, it is meant to understand the conditions or circumstances of a situation, organization, or an environment. You must understand the situation that we were born in. You must understand the situation of how we got here. You have to understand the environmental situations dealing with us being here on this so-called American soil, and understanding this so-called American experience. And we will do what needs to be done. A big thing that we have to do and understand is to really learn what the history truly is. If we don't learn it, then we're damned to repeat it. As in mute. So we don't want to repeat history. We don't want to repeat it. So we damn sure have to learn from it. We have heard the saying that has been said, whoever is the victor, they are the ones to write the history. So we're going to be looking at history and see what's what. What is a lie? What is the truth? We're going to be dealing with situations like the transatlantic slave trade. We're going to be dealing with situations like Black people had white people in slavery, and we did to them worse than what they did to us. We're going to be dealing with issues of the founding fathers of this nation. Were they actually white or were they actually Black? We're going to be dealing with all of that today, hopefully in a good, timely manner. We're going to make it do what it do. I'm going to welcome Mayat to the program. Peace and blessings, Queen. We are glad that you're here. And, last week as Brother Isaiah was getting his ass whooped, he started calling out for you. Where's Mayat? Where's Mayat? That you come and save it.
I guess that's how you want to frame it. That's your narrative, sir. We already know what narrative means. It means either a fake or real shit. But I love you. We're going to get it on. We're going to get it on, baby. Hold on. Wait. She said, since Isaiah said he's going to prove his point, let him cook. There you go. So what we're going to do.
Well, hold on.
Take a step. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So, Sister Cassie will bring you on in here. And, there were some things that were stated last weekend, last Sunday, that you disagreed with, that I disagreed with, hell, that the majority in the chat disagreed with. What is your take on why do we have to have a right position when it comes to history?
God, we need a right position because we've been fed so many lies. Right now, we've been fed so many lies by these crackers, and they've destroyed so much information. It's almost like nobody knows the truth. Everybody going in different directions. We say we serve the right God, Most High, whatever you want to call them, but everybody's going to different directions. And my thing is, how do we know any of it's correct? How do we know? Put some light on. How do we know any of it's correct? Because I can say, "Ooh, somebody told me from birth, blah blah blah," And then Isaiah said, "Ooh, somebody read a book from blah blah blah." And then you, Maury, say, "Oh, but I know blah blah blah." It's so many lies that, and then you got people saying, "Oh, America is our country." Oh, it's so much going on. I don't even bother to argue with it. I say, believe what you want to believe, and you hear somebody saying something, you believe it, good. If you don't find out for yourself. Everybody need to know the Most High, or whoever you call them, Allah, Most High, whoever. You got to know them for yourself, and it's not about religion. I don't, and that's what it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. It's so many lies. It's so sad because you'll unfriend somebody, just like the Democrats, Republicans. They unfriend each other, right? You have family members, same family, fighting over a political party that's not going to do anything for you. You literally divorced your husband, got mad at your sister, your twin, and you why? Over misinformation on everybody's part. So it's like, what is truth? What is it? How do you know? It's so much going on right now. You could do your research, but where they getting it from? Nobody's really gonna know until the end of this game. And so I'm just like that. Whatever it is, and go from there. I mean, seriously, I don't know how else to look at it because there's so much stuff out there. It's a lot. I mean, they didn't burned up the real history books, right? So how do we even know?
Well, Sister Cassie, don't forget this now, because this thing of saying the transatlantic slave trade never happened. This is a new thing.
That's a new thing. See what I'm saying? You got stuff. Don't nobody else on the earth but Black folk deny their own history. I've never heard the Jews deny theirs. I've never heard the Indians deny theirs. And this is what I'm saying. There's so many lies out there. We just don't even know what to believe. We don't know who we are. We don't know what to believe. People say the Bible is for white folk. Some people say all Black folk. What is it right now? What is it? Seriously, you got to search this thing out for yourself and believe for yourself. Stop believing what everybody say. Search and create your own relationship. And that's what really it's all about, a relationship. It has nothing to do with religion. Because nobody, we know what Christianity is. We know what all that means, and we know why we was given it. But some people still believe in it. I'm not a Christian, but some people do believe in it, and I'm not going to fault them for believing that what they believe, because Grandma taught you. Grandma couldn't dare be lying, right? So Grandma didn't lie. Did she really? So you're going against people's grandmas when you talk about that Christianity, But hey, you have to believe what you have to establish that relationship for yourself. And we have to lead our children to establish the truth. Go and look for the truth. Make it your business to find out truth for yourself. Period.
One thing, when you just said that, a verse in the Quran says, we found our fathers doing this. And so they're having a conversation, the people and God. And then Allah says to them, well, what if your fathers were fools? You're going to still do it because this is what you found fools doing?
Yeah, a lot of people will. And they are. You have Christians. I mean, we grew up Christian. Literally every Black person grew up Catholic, and we know what Catholic Church stands for. And you have some people still standing behind that. Go figure. Then you have some people that was born in the church. They grew up like that. They still in there. But I think that the ones, if you really want truth, you go after it and you're going to find it. I just believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. You got to want it, and you have to go after it. It's not about somebody telling you nothing. Search it for yourself. You cannot take somebody else's word for nothing, because everybody is believing their own stuff, their own relationship. Then they come out with their own beliefs. Okay, but that's your stuff. I don't believe. I have to figure out for myself.
All right, perfect. All right, Brother Isaiah. Hold on one second. I want to welcome Patron Gold to the program. Peace and blessings, Queen. It's been a long time, but I am glad you are here today. I want to also welcome Brother Willie Rivers to the program. Peace and blessings, Brother Willie. We are glad you are here. And now it is time to go. All right, Brother Isaiah, what's your first topic you're going to prove today?
Let me start by paying homage to one of the greatest boxers in American history.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yes.
won
George
his
Foreman.
championship again at, I think we're like in his 50s, if I'm not mistaken. George Foreman.
Yes.
He is now an ancestor,
Yes.
and I truly appreciate
To hear that.
what he's done for the sport of boxing. I'm not a really big boxing fan like that, but I do know that if you got a white heavyweight champion, they cheated. They cheated their fucking ass off. Just like that white boy from England. Now you know, goddamn well, whoever the brown bomber beat his ass, but they cheated, man. You know what I mean? But we all good. Obama said, WMB of lies and said, I hope you have your pot pans and seasoning cars. They gonna ride. No, baby, I'm gonna ride they motherfucking ass. Ain't nobody getting away with this unless they want to be stupid. All right? There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts, there's no shaking in my motherfucking voice. I am very fucking sure about our history and what that means and why it means and how it means. There were and have been 3 slave trades: the Sahara, Pacific, and the transatlantic slave trade, right? So we're going to be focusing in on the transatlantic slave trade, and that's the first question. Was it real or was it Memorex? The other thing is the proof that Queen Isabella of Spain, and King Ferdinand of Spain were black. Now you got to remember, their reign, if I'm not mistaken, is from 1470 to 1510, somewhere around there. I might be off a couple of years here, a couple of years there, but it's in that range. All right. So what I'm going to do first is very, very, very tantamount and paramount to everything else. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus in on white folks and what that means, how that means, why it means, and where it means, and our people. How, where, why, when, and what. It is very, very, very important to know the past so you can understand the fucking present and predict the future. History is circular, cyclical. It repeats itself. There's no and, there's no ifs, there's no buts about that. So what we're going to focus in on first, hold on, let me see. Go back here. And okay. I'm gonna go to the settings. I'm gonna go to. Okay, can I bring this up or what? My screen.
Yeah, just go ahead and share. It'll pop up and I'll put it on.
No, I'm sorry. I hit the present, right? Okay. So here we go. So share screen.
Mm-hmm.
Entire screen, allow. So what we're going to do, I put a lot of information on Brother Maurice's WhatsApp. And I got quite a few YouTube videos. A lot of people are going to say, wow, YouTube video. Are you one of them YouTubers? No, motherfucker. Listen, there are a lot of our great ancestors that have been spoken about in the videos. They go back hundreds of years. Books that go back 200 years that have been cited. Okay, and once you get into the YouTube videos and other sources that I have, hold on, let's see. Now for this one, this is a book that is free that I'm going to copy and paste and get into. Because I'm not going to really get into the whole book of it. That details, hold on, let me look for you guys again. The details the Europeans and who they were, where they were, why they were, how they were, and what they looked like. So I'm going to put that into the comment, and it's called The Memoirs of the Secret Service of John Mackey. It is very important that you read that book. Oh, no, it's not allowing me to do it. Hold on. Okay. Damn it. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to put it up here, then you guys can probably see it, right? Oh, here we go. This is the Memoirs of the Secret Services of John Mackey. It was how many pages is this? 349 pages. This book goes back to the Queen of England, even King James, who is described as a black man, and the Queen, black women, and the duchess and dukes and whatever. So I'm not going to get into that because we are in the area of who King Ferdinand was, whether or not he was black or white, and who Queen Isabella was, and whether or not she was black or white. Okay, but I'm only putting this here in order to show you what this book is all about and how the people are being described and what race they were. Okay, so if you can see it, it's archive.org, detailed memoirs, secrets. But I tried to put that in the comment, just not showing up. But you can look for it on Google. It is a free book. I would highly suggest that you do that and to read it. So with that being said, let me get out of that one. So hold on. So I'm going to get over here to Brother Maurice's what's that? So the whole main focus right now is to distinguish between white people and black people. In my book, of which we're going to be covering next month, we're not going to be doing that today, but it deals with why do white people hate black people so much. I want to be able to do that, Brother Maurice, because it is tantamount to our understanding of the foundation in which white supremacy and white superiority is based. It is based on bullshit, based on lies and deceit. That is the subtitle of that book. All right. So, with that being said, you are looking at some very dark-skinned sisters and brothers, and I couldn't really find the one that I was telling you about, Brother Maurice. That dude was more black than these brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful color from Sudan, and in the video, and in the video that you're going to be watching, you're going to be able to see what does Sudan mean. And from what I can remember from the video, it was saying that So Udan mean foreigner, So, and Udan, Judah, the foreigners of Judah, the tribe of Judah. So when you looking at the etymology of words, that is very, very important. Like Sister Mott was saying, you have archaeological evidence, you have anthropological evidence, you have words and literal descriptions of what these people look like. So, like I was saying, my first focus is on white people. Now, what you're saying here is part of my book, the second one, called The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit, Understanding White Supremacy. Now, white folks are full of pride, false pride. They have no history. They have no culture. They have no language. They have nothing but lies and deceit that they've been living off of. All right? That's the false pride, because pride comes before the fall. It blinds you to what your inevitable fall will be and when it will be. It is inevitable. All right. Here you can see. Hold on, let me bring that up. Can you see it? Hello. Oh, hold on. What the fuck? Could you? Oh, okay. Well, say something. You know, I don't know. Okay. So so here we have part of my book, the second one, talking about how do they keep bringing in mass shootings and suspects without killing them. They do that to black kids. And then you have the white woman looking into the mirror. When you finally realize you ain't shit. All right? Hold on. Here, coming from another section of my book, is white genocide. Did you know? The government is obviously turning a blind eye on these statistics, as no action plan has yet been established to reduce the white murder number. In fact, some political leaders encourages black South Africans to go out and kill whites. Now, here at the bottom, where you see my arrow, what it looks like when you ignore history. This is exactly the truth. It ain't got shit to do with the white man, the red man, the Arab man. It's you, my people. You are destroyed for lack of knowledge. The knowledge has always been there. But due to the educational system that we got, and due to the political laws, policies, and regulations in America, because I don't know nothing about, Spain or Russia or whatever the case may be, but it's in the general area. The same thing happens. Blot out all of the evidence and history and culture and language of black people. That is a fact. So today I am not screwing around with nobody. I am standing on business. I am standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, and I am not going to fucking disrespect them or dishonor them. The Bible says the words of our ancestors are tantamount. If we love our ancestors and respect them, then we shall be blessed. I don't know if that's like a paraphrase, but the idea is still the same. The only way we can get the blessings of our ancestors, we turn back to them. Really just that simple. We have been disobedient. It's really just that simple. All right? Hold on. Now, this is the first book that I wrote, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit, that featured the book cover, the white woman with a tail. 33% of the birth among white folks, they grow tails, they get them cut off. This is the second book that I wrote, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit 2, Understanding White Supremacy. And like I said, we're going to be getting into that hopefully at some point in April after today's show, because I am truly motivated to do that with Brother Maurice and Sister Kathy and whomever else may be interested in watching that show. And here we go. Now, this is where I want you guys to really, 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 truly concentrate on these memes or pictures or whatever the case you want to call them. Now, this one is coming from a book called America. You can see the white folk right here at the bottom. We didn't give a fuck about them. We used and abused their ass, and this is the black.
Can you make the picture a little bigger?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you can see the white people at the bottom and the black Indians and everybody else. And this is how we treated them. They weren't shit and they still ain't shit, because we understood. Our ancestors understood in Egypt when we allowed, after tens of thousands of years of keeping them out, because they were barbaric and heathens, from learning anything. The ancient Greeks and Roman historians always said, we got 5% of our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from Egypt. No, 100%. Okay? Hold on, I don't know which one is going forward. Hold on. I want to make sure I do this right. Okay. So I don't know how this is going to go, but it'll double back, and if it shows up again, then I know I've done all of the pictures. Okay. So,
Brother Isaiah,
yeah.
Before I type this, I want to make sure that I'm answering Mayat's question properly.
Oh, okay.
You're going to be proving that Queen Isabella and King Fernando were black, and you're going to be proving the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen. And what else?
No, I'm not saying. No. Sure. She's asking you that.
Yeah, she's asking, what are you going to prove tonight? So,
I'm going to prove. No, I'm going to prove that King Isabella and King Ferdinand were black man and woman. That's number one. And number two, that the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen the way that black people think it happened. That's the crux of the matter.
So those are the 2 points you're going to be proving tonight.
Right. And then, okay. And then those 2 points are going to lead into the next show, hopefully, or whatever show it may be, because we're going to have to be in conversation about that in regard to doing book 1 of my book, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit, and why white people hate black people so much. So be aware of that. I'm going to, I don't have your number, even though you got mine, you didn't call yet. But that's what we're going to be focusing in on today, all right? So let me get back to that, and hold on. Now here you got a man sentenced for killing wife with children in the next room, places body in freezer for 2 years and tells children she abandoned him. This is what I'm not trying to say that she deserved it, but you got to understand, these people are animals. All they love to do is do the they bring the 4D to the table of humanity: death, destruction, disease, and despair. And also, a friend of mine was telling me, you got to add depravity too, and it is. They're the worst people on the planet. They're not human. The only true human beings on the planet are black people. They're humanoid. They're albinoid. They're caucasoid. They're europoid. That means like human, but they're not human. They come from Dravidian albinos who made it with normal black people. And if you look at the book The White Man's Inheritance, and other books that I cited, it tells you about the nature of these people. They're nasty. We've seen that, where they don't wash their hands, they halfway wash their ass. They have sex amongst themselves, pissing and shitting on themselves, and drinking and eating the shit, vomiting it back up. This is not me. You can Google this and look for scat. It's like it used to be, because I did cite it in my book, I had to go back and change it around and look it up, but it used to be called scat, SCAT, Russia.com. When I saw it, I damn near threw up, all right? But you'll be able to see on the YouTube, and you don't have to go to the dark web. It's right there. They have no shame about what they do. They have brothels throughout Europe where they go in and they fuck animals. Now they're fucking sex dolls, and white men want to have a baby with a sex doll. You feel where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going? This is the degradation that has brought to our community and to our people, and we're following them like they are the paragons of hope, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Are you fucking kidding me? No. But I'm not going to say that this beautiful black woman deserved that. But this is what you get. These people have no norms. They have no morality. They have no nothing. And this is the reason why I always say, fuck all white folks. Because they absolutely, positively don't know the meaning of morality. So let me go on. Here you have a white woman who is licking the toilet of the toilet seat in the airplane. Let me go on, please. Here you have black Indians. We are the Indians in America. And I told you about the guy. I did write to him, Brother Marie, about accepting your friendship. When I tell you he tight, I mean, the butter is tight. There was what was that thread about?
Isaiah, make the pictures bigger so that we can see
Oh,
it.
okay. Well, just let me know if it's not. Hold on. Just let me know if it's not big enough, and then I'll put it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So just let me know if you can't really see it. Then I'll make it bigger. All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, let me go on. Now this is obviously a joke. Now Judaism is not a religion. It is a way of life to help you find the way of life for you. It's like going into I don't know if you ever heard of you know Walmart, right? You got 1,000 and billion and one product. You don't want all them motherfuckers. When you go in there, you get what you get, and you get what you want, and buy what you want, and get the fuck out. When you are studying the uh, 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 the Torah, we read it every year thoroughly, year after year after year after year. There's no end to it because it is so deep and wide and tall. Now, I'm 53 years old this year in December. I speak two languages. I'm working on my third one. Thank God I finally broke past the 8 months of struggling with it, Hebrew, that I am now understanding more and more and more. But the point I want you guys to understand is we're not going to live long enough to read every book that has ever been known in the world. I cannot learn every language. That is why I stay humble. That is why I listen. And that is why I pray to the God of Isaiah for more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The three precious gems of Solomon. I'm not here to play. I don't give a fuck about your feelings or your goddamn emotion. I don't give a fuck. What I care about is truth. Facts. The fact that I'm a fucking man, you can't argue that shit. You look like a goddamn fool. The fact that I have 2 kids and a wife and I live here in the Dominican, you can't argue that shit. So tonight, I am laying on a fucking table telling you what our ancestors did and who did it and under what condition. It was religious. It wasn't no fucking racist. The white man wasn't shit back then. He just spoke. Learned how to speak 1,000 years fucking ago. So how in the fuck can you do all this shit in 1,000 years? They got the technology from us. Do you understand what the fuck I'm telling you? Don't listen to what these motherfuckers, they're telling you. They're lying. By now you should be able to know that they lie, they scheme, they connive. They do all kind of bullshit that don't add up. And the reason why? They're scared of you, black man, black woman, our people. They're scared that when you wake up, when those bones in the valley are dry bones start to come together and unite, it's over. It's over. It's over because they know that you represent the God of Hashem. They know that you represent justice, righteousness, and truth, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the very core of our being and the black universe, which we are the representation of. We are the black universe filtered down in human form, baby. Don't you ever let nobody fucking tell you, especially a cracker, tell you you ain't shit. They obviously know. And tonight you're gonna hear it. They know. And one white boy gonna fucking tell you that they don't even like themselves. Let me continue. This is the land of Israel. It don't belong to these motherfuckers. The reason being, they don't observe the Torah. And the most important thing is, in the Torah is tikkun, Tikkun, olam, the healing of the world, the peace in the world. There is no fucking peace. We're living in the matrix of the white man and the white bitch. and they fucking maggoty ass goddamn kids. The shit gotta stop. And the only man that can stop it, the only woman that can stop it. Hold on. Hold on. Let me put it on pause for a second. It might go away. Hold on. The only man and only woman that can stop it is the black man and woman. There was a queen in Egypt when they were being kicked out. They said, "Don't you bring your I'm just paraphrasing, but don't you bring your fucking funky asses back here, or we're gonna make your fucking head roll." Do you understand what I'm telling you? Our ancestors did this shit 3 times in Egypt, Greece, and Rome, and now. And every time these motherfuckers came and took over our shit, what do? They fuck it up because they don't know what to do. That should be the prima facie, right? Evidence that shows you these motherfuckers ain't shit. But they are projecting greatness, your ability to establish civilization, university, and schools, and different subject matter that matter. I did this last night on my show, talking about how great our ancestors were and that the healing of different frequencies happen. If you don't know about that, please go to my channel, WMB of Lies and Deceit, and look for the show that happened last night. And it was a banger, wasn't it? Right? Well, I'm gonna let Sister Ma and Willie and Brother Don tell you if he's here. Wasn't that shit tight? All right. So let me go on. The next one. Here, this is from my boy. He's a Yamasee Indian, real Indian now, not the fake Mongolian Indian that come from Mongol. He said, and y'all motherfuckers thought that the so-called white man is the Caucasians, but yet in his book from the 1800s showed that the Caucasian motherfuckers are not white. Go look at the red rectangle on the picture. Hold on. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, you can't. Don't you see the black man right there? And you got Caucasian under the name. All these names, Australian, Arctic, American, European, Mongolian, and African, all of those titles belong to us. They don't belong to nobody else but us. Because there was nothing but black people on the planet. From blackness comes light. I rest my case. Is there anything else you want to know? Here you have the Moor that ruled in China. The first emperor was named Qin, from which China gets its name. Okay. You can go on YouTube and look up Black China or Black Chinese or Black or whatever the case. It'll show up. All right. Here's a more example. I don't know if that's Chinese or Japanese. Yeah, I can never really tell the difference. But anyway, you know the deal. Now it says origin of the Anglo-Saxon race, and it goes down to the bottom. Welsh annals mention black Vikings on the coast as if they were men of unusual personal appearance.
Let me ask you a question. You said Welsh who?
What? No, the Welsh annals mention black Vikings on the coast as if they were men of unusual personal appearance. Now, what you must know is that when you're talking about the Dubs, the Vikings, the Welsh, the Danes, so on and so forth, these people were black people, but they weren't like our extinguished brother says that, well, not all white folks suffered slavery like we did. But let me tell you something, Brother Marie, with all due respect. Not all you niggas throughout history have always been civilized. We've had some damning, most disgusting motherfuckers that you could ever. You talking about the what's the name of that gang out there in California? They're 1,000 times worse than that. The Vikings, man, they were taking white folks, if I want to call them that, or the Tamahus, or the Urugus, off the coast of Iceland. You can Google it. They commemorate this shit. They remember, you crazy motherfucking nigga. We killed them, and you're gonna see that in the, not the photo, but the lithograph and everything else that I have. You niggas are not holy. Not all of you. Some of y'all in through history have been rough, and especially with the Tamahus and Urus. All right. They weren't white back then. The word white started in 1680, motherfucker. Get it right. Because I'm here to set this motherfucker off today. Because there ain't going to be no more, Isaiah, you can't disrespect the white man like that. He oh my Lord, he's mighty. And nigga, sit your fucking ass up and sit the fuck down. Because I'm about to take your dumb ass to school today. All right? I'm not going to tolerate that motherfucking shit. I'm not. This is a new day. Like every day is a new day. But we got to understand how we got here. And today you're going to understand that. Okay? But from what I'm giving you, it's just primary sources that you need to prove to yourself and let go of the white man's bullshit lies and deceitful nature. Okay, so let's go forward. Now here, this is a weird history. In the 1900s, 5 Russian women agreed to be officially inseminated with chimpanzee sperm as part of an experiment funded by the Soviet government to create a human-ape hybrid. I don't need to go any further. This right here is an albino. This is where white folks come from. For all of our visiting genetically tested, go ahead.
Make it bigger.
Go ahead.
Make it bigger so we can see.
Okay. I'm sorry. Is that better? I can't make it too much bigger. Yeah. So this is an albino where the hand is or the mouth. That's an albino. These are all normal black people, right? And Robert Childs is saying, for all of our visiting genetically recessive albinos, behold how you came into being and witness your genetic father. That is true, you guys. I am not here to lie. I'm not here to scheme. I'm not here to make myself out to be more than what I am. I'm a kindergarten of history. I'm a kindergartner of history, which means I will always be hungry for more fucking facts, truths, and understanding. When I wrote my book, I didn't write it. I asked for a long time, my God, the God of Isaiah, our ancestors, please help me write this book. And the way that I'm writing, the way that I'm thinking now, I'm thinking to myself, so when you read my book, you're going to read Isaiah and Bob. Bob is my alter ego. All right. And so we're clashing back and forth, sharing information, doing that, cracking jokes on each other. And I have never seen a history book written like that. Honest, open, direct, fun to read. These are the kind of things that people are telling me. Not me, but are telling me, because it allows them to let go of the dates and people and this and that happened, and at 11 p.m. today, this happened. You know what I mean? People need, when they read history books, people need to understand from a very relaxed mindset so that they can absorb all of it. And so when I came across that format of writing, it was like a game changer to me and for me, because I was able to be me. I was able to really cuss out white folks in that goddamn book and to reveal and keep it honest, keep it truthful, keep it fun, but also educational, professional, making sure that all the goddamn dates and people and names of places and things that happen, so that there is no if, ands, or buts about it. Oh, Isaiah ain't got no PhD. He need to go back to school. All right. How motherfucker? I will be any motherfucker that come on the goddamn show and try to tell me, motherfucker, that I'm wrong. I got $1,000 bet, and all you got to pay me is a dollar. Well, no, for PayPal, you got to have $10 a month. $10. So you're looking at a 100 to 1 chance of you winning. You ain't gonna win, motherfucker. Oh no, baby. You ain't gonna win because everything in my book is correct. Let me go on. Ruled Europe. Hold on. Yeah, you can. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Let me bring that up to 100. Might be able to see it better. Oh, okay. So here we go. I'm gonna keep it at 100. Hold on. I'm gonna keep it. I don't know. Let me. Now this is damning. So I'm gonna take it down to 75%. Damn it. So this was the Oscars. And all black women throughout the history of the Oscars were damned. Phony psychic, abusive mother, maid, abusive mother, maids, and slaves. Is that it? I mean, is this fucking the way that it goes? White folk don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck how much money you make from movies and shit. You're still a nigga. Let me go forward. Especially with yourself. I don't know what that means. Foreigners may be on this land doing a lot of nonsense, but you are in control of your health, happiness, and so on. So here it said, don't make up problems if there are none. And this is so true with a lot of people. This is so true with a lot of people. This is what we're talking about. Hold on, this is 94%. Let me take it down to 75%. You hear the Viking, the Dove, the Welsh, all of these. This is how we treated white folk, man. We were killing them. We were fucking killing them. Do you understand that? There is no ifs, ands, or fucking buts in my goddamn mind. We were killing these motherfuckers because they deserved it. Do you understand that shit? They're nasty, they're dirty, they're stinking, and they are still uncivilized. They're never gonna learn that. And you're going to find that out right here. We're going to keep going. And here you have an elephant that, dear African, the elephant didn't pray, it acted. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Here you have the Circassians. These were black people. These Circassians with Afro. Because everybody got African blood in them. All right? And I go into this in my book as well. Here you have the Negro rulers of Scotland and the British Isles. Don't you see the Star of David? Can you see that? Brother Muhammad? Hold on. Yeah, I can't take it too far because I can't bring it. Hold on, 100%. The Star of David's here. Okay. So let's go on. The Chinese people, we already know that is true. Okay. The OCA1, OCA4, straight hair, red, blonde hair, blue, green, gray, red eye, white skin, albinism. Great friend. She's another one that really into our history. I really appreciate her. Here, hold on. I gotta bring it down. This is I don't even speak.
Isaiah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt, but you're throwing these things out, but you're not showing us the evidence of what you're saying. You're showing us pictures off of Facebook, like we're supposed to take that and say that's the actual fact. You're not giving us no evidence of what you're saying that this is true.
Hold on, I will get to that. Hold on.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, a lot of people might have a problem with the evidences that I am presenting. There's a thing called cognitive dissonance. I don't think I have to explain that, but a lot of people are going to have a hard time trying to understand what I'm talking about because the pieces may be fragmented, and some pieces over here, some pieces over there, so it's like a puzzle. You got to put the puzzle together because our history has been exploded into a billion and one pieces. So, with that being said, you got to be able to think. You got to be able to analyze. You got to be able to discern. Okay. And this is I wish I had a better look at it, but this is the Chronicle of the Mayan King. Now, when you look at the Mayan, yeah.
You talked about the period when Africans ruled. When you said Africans ruled Scotland and Ireland, what time period was that?
Oh man, that's been since the first king of England was a black guy by the name of I can't even pronounce his name. Escalon or something like that. But I talk about that in my book. It's an old English name, but it's been
But I'm just talking about
thousands of years. But I know I know what you're saying. I'm just giving you a little bit of the background. But what that period was up until starting. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to get back to that one on that one. But you know that is true. There were no white so-called people doing anything in Scotland, England, and so on and so forth. These were all descendants of a Stuart family. Stuart means black. Okay, so but I'm going to get to that. So let me continue
okay.
because I don't want to be on here for too long. Then you have the American Moors. And you can go right here to lostfeather.weebly.com. So I want to try to make sure I'm doing this as smoothly and as methodically and as completely as possible because this is not even the amount of time we're going to be looking at and using the time on Brother Maurice's show isn't sufficient enough. But I can also understand how important it is to talk about the resources or what do you call it? The evidences. So here you got AfricaSource.com, and these were American Indian, Black Indian. Okay? The Celtic Moor from Europe and Mansa Musa. And this is, as you know, these were the Vikings. I can't really. I was trying to make sense out of that right here, where you can see the hand, craftsmen, traders, and fearsome raiders. These were black soldiers, and if I'm not mistaken, Vikings. So, but that book is crucial to that. But as you can see, the original copy of the Egyptian and the white Jesus is a copy. The original of the Egyptians, and you're talking about here the copy with white Jesus. White lies matter because you need to expel that. Yeah.
The source you gave, you said AfricaSource.com.
AfricaSource.com, right?
Yeah, and you're spelling it AFRICA.
Yeah, AFRICA. Source.com. Hold on, let me go back because I want to make sure that is correct. Yeah, AfricaSource.com.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was trying to pull it up. Thank you.
Okay. Now, as we know, a lot of white so-called Khazarian Jews are coming out and admitting that they're not the real Jews. This was a hell of a book, and those Jews, especially Netanyahu and all the other prime ministers before, don't like this guy. The Invention of the Jewish People by Shlomo Sam is the name of that book. And this is the trick that they're trying to do. The reason why blacks drop out of school. Jesus was a white man. The ancient Egyptians were white. The Israelites were white. The last Mohicans were white. Everything white. But they don't. You got to remember, these people are the scum of humanity. There are no more Tasmanian people. They killed them all. There are 25 plus thousand heads, decapitated heads of black people in the French Museum. White people over the last 4 years have killed over 150 million people. And you know for what reason? The VACCINE. They don't give a fuck about that. And people are still taking and people are dying. I'm George Bush. Trump is culpable in that. Even though he said, if I remember correctly, you might want to correct me on that, Brother Marie. But he did say take it. You know, it's no big deal. Take it. Fauci and Bill Gates. Bill Gates is traveling the world, making it look like he's the expert on everything. He's not anything. He didn't create Microsoft. So, and the what do you call it? The programming for Microsoft that was done by the Apple founder. All right, I put that there. Okay, so now this is coming from Saturday Evening Post, and this is where I get the name of my book from, The White Man's Burden, and it shows how what's that word I'm looking for? How mischievous, deceptive that white people are. They actually believe they're doing something by helping all other native people to become more civilized. And here you have the civilization here. Here's Uncle Sam carrying all of these people, I don't know who that might be, to a better way of life. All right?
Brother
Ancient
Isaiah,
yeah.
but I just have a quick question. Now,
Yeah.
you're showing all of these Facebook postings, and my question is, are you using these Facebook postings as your evidence that what you're saying is correct?
No, I will get to that, but just let me do this, because what I'm doing right now is showing you.
Isaiah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Honey,
Go ahead.
please.
Yeah.
Get to the point. I need you. You're doing too much.
Look,
That's too.
Look, we're
I
gonna
need
get
you
there.
to tell me. We started talking about one person. Okay, it's an hour and you're still not there. How long is it going to take for you to get here?
No, it's not
We
going to
want to
take that
know.
long.
You said Ferdinand and Queen somebody was black. Talk about that. Show us that. You do it. What is all of this about? Where are we going? I mean, I'm
Hold
lost.
on.
I hope I'm the only one lost.
No, you're not lost. But what I'm trying to do is to tell you that white people have created a matrix of
Where
lies
you
and
get your
deceit,
information
right?
from a lot of white folk. I want to hear what white folk got to say about nothing.
That's not true, Sister Cassie. That's not true.
Okay.
All right. So let me do this in a calculated way, because it would lead up to what I'm talking about. All right. Here you have the Canadian Aboriginal story, where it shows that black people are the indigenous people of the Americas. Know thyself, which is an old ancient and Egyptian phrase. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. And as you can read, a person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. Teach them. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. A person who knows and knows not that they know is asleep. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise and follow them. So all of this comes down to this. You got to be very careful about where you're getting your information from. if you are not, based on what I've presented so far, if you are not uh, becoming more curious and hungry for the truth, then it's a waste of time. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of our history give you strength to move forward. As Sister Mott was saying, is that history determines everything. You cannot, a tree cannot stand without its roots. Our ancestors are our roots. Okay, hold on. Here again, you have the false narrative of white folk civilizing black people. That did not happen. And important, let's see. So the original, yeah, go ahead.
You make it bigger?
Oh, hold on. Can you see it?
Can you make it a little bit more bigger?
Yeah, hold on. I don't want to get it too big and then it might be blurred out. But basically, it's saying that the Constitution of the United States of America, following Virginia publication of March 12, 1819, other states and territories quickly followed. Word of Virginia's publication quickly spread throughout the state, and so on and so forth. The title Esquire, which attorneys have freely adopted and claimed, is the title of nobility. If you are a judge, if you are the president, you cannot have titles of nobility. It doesn't work. When an attorney is admitted to the bar, they are granted the title of Esquire in England, so on and so on and so on. King George of the Revolution established the International Bar Association. So it is like a double-edged sword or like a double agent. And this is what I was saying during the treaty with England. These people were operating and functioning on both sides of the deal. You cannot have an esquire after your name as if you are a attorney. Okay, so it doesn't it nullifies it. Okay. Now here you have the black people entering their what would that be? Castle, what have you? And you have your century here. So the Grand Chronique, the France, Aguilan, and his Moor attack a castle. A picture says 1,000 words. Now on a lot of other, I don't know what you want to tapestry. You can see white folks who are attacking um, um, the black people castles. The castles were not built by white people. Those white people or those Urugos or Tamus with a lot of hair on them and claws, these were the key people who we were battling with. Now here you have the Queen Mary II can carry 4,309 people. You have the Santa Maria, which could carry a hell of a lot less than that. And I think it might have been maybe 200 people. So you go from 4,300 people to down to about 200 people, not counting the cargoes. There might be a heck of a lot less than 200 people. And what I'm trying to say here is that there's no way that 100 million black people were shipped from the west coast of Africa. There's no way. And on this ship, there was no ship at that point in 1492. A ship has a motor. A motor didn't come around until about the 1810, 15, somewhere around there. So they were using sails. Are you following me? But I'm going to go through these and really get to the hardcore of what this is all about, because I really want to focus in on that, and that's what people. This is hold on, let me see. Hold on. I don't want to be wrong with this one. If I'm not mistaken, that's King James, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have the Stuarts here, Charles II, Charles II went under the name denomination, for he was one of the son of the King Charles, son of the Queen Fiddler, begot him by the on the body of the Queen, and so on and so forth. And he described um, as dark from his complexion, which it was dark complected. And you have Charles Leno's, the same thing. And all of this is in the book that I put in, or trying to put in the comments, The Secret Service of John Mackey. So please check that out. It's a free book, and so on and so forth. So let me, this is the king, the African king of Kiev, Russia. So let me go on, and this is going to the real meat and bones of what this is all about. I'm pretty sure you heard of the Knight of the Templar. He was the founder of the Templar, Hughes de Payens, a black guy. Okay. And this is the one I was telling you about. Oh, hold on. Oh my God. This is okay. Well, I don't want to start over. Hold on. This is the coast of West Africa. You can see where they had the tribe of Judah or Weta, and all of this area was called Negro land. It was called Negro land for a reason. Brother Marie, is this a white guy or a black guy?
Look like a cracker to me, but it could be mixed.
Okay. Well, this is Walter White of the NAACP, who was instrumental because he could pass for white. You can't trust your eyes, all right? And there's a lot of other, hold on, what the heck is going on? This is Betty Boop. As you may know, she's been portrayed as white, but she's actually black. And this is the main point of what I'm trying to say tonight. When two brothers fight to the death, a stranger inherits their property. When there is disunity amongst our people, it's a lot easier for white folks to take over. Because they're like vultures. They come down and eat upon the flesh and bone of our people who fought amongst themselves. That's my point, all right? We're all African. More whites were brought as slaves to North Africa than blacks brought as slaves to the United States or the 13 colonies from which it was formed. White slaves were still being bought and sold in the Ottoman Empire and coming out of England to supply the workers on the plantation, the sugar plantation and the tobacco plantation at that point in Virginia. All right, you got that one. You've seen that one before. This is the guy who created the LSD thing. He was 90%. So what I'm trying to say is that white folks have been the scum of every civilization known to man since they got here 4,000 years ago. They cannot be trusted to tell you the truth. Now here, this is a statue of a black woman. And even when you go through and go to Europe, white folks still worship the black Madonna and child and the Father. You see the Pope kissing the black Madonna and the child. All right. Together we rise. And this is where Sister Maya will agree that the Son is walking on the water just like Jesus. And people shit, white people shit, you know how that go. And this is, when we talk about my book, I'm going to talk about Walter Plecker, because he was part of the paper genocide that took place in the Americas in changing our name and status in America as American Indian to black, to Negro, to whatever, right? We're going to cover that. Now, this is some of the Egyptian inventions that took place as well, all right? So I'm going to try to hurry up. This is where throughout history, whites have made up the bulk percentage of slaves worldwide. All right, these were them. They lived in caves. They were, if you read the white man's inheritance, he goes into the Flugerites, F-L-U-G-E-L RODS, and the wild men. Look that up on Google. And this is us during our heyday of Spain and ruling Europe at that point. And this is them. And this is them. And this is us all around the world, all right? So I know, Sister Kathy, you're anxious to hear what I got to say, but we're getting right to it. Hold on. This is them. These people were animals, and these people are animals still, okay? The first Europeans, there were no white folks there. They were all black people. Chinese, the Arab, the Latina, the Indian, the Asian. And this is King Carlos V or Carlos Quinto down there in the Mayan civilization, very, very well known. And this is them, African, human, non-African, non-human, part Neanderthal DNA. And this is the crime stat. You can see where all of these crimes, the vast majority, are committed by white folks. White people. What about black on black crime? What about white on everybody's crime? Here you got Medusa and so on and so forth. I know people are anxious to get it, but I'm going to get it, but I'm doing it for a reason. These were bull scorns. I guess it's bull scorns. Bull horns. I'm sorry. Buffalo horn. And you can see the white man. They were killing us and starving us by killing all of the buffalo. And this is how they are. Alex Wilson being attacked by a white racist during the Little Rock 9 integration of Central High School. Here you have a black woman who's been adored by white. Always has been like that. And here you have the albino children of a black woman. This is where they come from. And the haplogroup of all humans, they were black and scattered throughout the world, all right? And did you know that the oldest writing system comes from black people? 6,000 years ago in, I don't know how you pronounce that, Deep Kloof, South Africa. And then again, you see white people being jealous. So I'm going to go through these, and you can take a look at them as we go. You can see the hate that white folks have for us. And here you have Stuart, the Earl of Boot, in that book. Oh shit, what was it? Well, you know what the book I was telling you about that is free. And here you have the delectable Negro. That is utterly disgusting. They were eating you. And, you know, people just need to put on some clown shoes because they are uninformed, misinformed, and miseducated. That is the reason why you must breed. And I talked about that. And here, now this was in a Saturday Evening Post or something. This was a really old magazine back in the day. And it says, Southern chivalry. If I hadn't killed you, you would have grown up to rule me. This is a deep-seated mentality that white folks, they know we dominated them. And this is the media. You have to be careful about what you see and what you hear. And this is what they do. They try to make it look as if we want a woman. Okay? And we know about the genocide in Israel and what that means. And this is all of the blood that the white man has spilled. This is another version of that. And then you have the Indian schools where they were killing children, eating children, and so on and so forth. This is not something that is not out of the ordinary. This is something ordinary to them. And this is another one. She loved trees. She loved having sex with trees. We've seen that on your show, and I talked about on your show about that. Okay. So we're gonna get out of that. But hold on, let me go back a little bit. This is a story about Bass Reeves. He was the real Lone Ranger. Okay. And you can't fix yourself by breaking someone up. So what I'm going to do, as you can see here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to that one or two maybe that I was that I saw. And you see, this is old ancient writings of Africa. We weren't illiterate. And the truth is always somewhat of a bitter pill to swallow, because it's hard to do that when your mind is fixed on lies and deceit. And you know what that is. The white raven is killed by other black ravens because it's unusual. So now here is the Europeans are much younger, about 4,000 years old. But that wasn't it. So let me go back. African Moors who conquered Spain and ruled it for 700 years. You already know about that. Okay. You know about that as well. The creation of chess. And this is about as far as I'm going to take it. I've seen it, but if I can look for a while, I'm doing the other things, then I will, and I'll be back at that. But the idea among black folks is this sheep. I know your kind. I've been slaughtered. You guys have been slaughtering us and eating us. But we're animals. I don't see species. Well, you know what? You better start seeing it, because as far as I am concerned, it is truly an insult to even be involved with the people. Okay, so let me go through, and we're going to get to it right now, Sister Cassie. We're going to get to it right now. So I know you're hungry for that. Hold on. I'm going to have to, the black. Okay, now this one, I'm not going to be playing all of it. But this one, it talks about the black Hebrew Israelites and what they are, where they come from, and so on and so forth. There is a 10-minute one that I'm going to be playing that gives you the definition of Negro and where that term comes from, and how we got to the Americas all the way from the Middle East or Israel back then, during the time of Titus, the Roman emperor, and the desolation and the demolition, if I can say that, if I can use that word, of the Hebrew kingdom at that point. And once they were kicked out of Rome, they were traveled or transported to Spain and Portugal, where they lived and resided for quite a few years, hundreds of years to be exact. That laid the foundation of the Arab Moor, to coming over to Spain, which is only like 20 miles from the north coast of Africa, or the northern part of Africa. And you get into the Pyrenees and the Pillars of Hercules and all of that, right? So hold on. I want to put that into the chat. Hold on. So people can go on ahead and take a look at that. But I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get into it. Hold on, baby. Hold on. I can get rid of that one. I can get rid of this one. This is the Africans. It's not long, but I'm going to play it so you'll know that we are everywhere.
Early civilization in China, known as the Li Mi, or headed people during the Zhou dynasty. Legendary Chinese Emperor Fu Xi, often depicted as a woolly-haired black man, originated from the oracle of the I Ching. The true origins of martial arts, such as karate and wrestling, can be traced back to Africa, not the regions often believed. Imhotep's tomb carvings show ancient fighting techniques, proving how far back Kemetic arts go. The original people of India, the Dravidians, were African. They founded the Indus Valley civilization and restored spiritual spiritual sciences like yoga and kundalini. African Ethiopians influenced ancient Chinese medicine, which shares the Egyptian Kemetic view of reality as a unified field, connected by the Tao. Ultimately, Africans are the blueprint of civilization, and all others are variations. We are all linked by this connection, a product of Afrocentric culture. Evident.
Okay. Hold on. Now I'm going to play this one, Brother Marie. So hold on. All right. They have never liked each other. This is the white guy telling you this. Now, if I can play it all the way through without bumping heads against the 2 hour mark.
If you are new here, hi, my name is Cindy. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So in today's video, I just want to see a few videos from this white guy. He is calling his people out, like kind of exposing them. Now this video is for educational purposes only. It is not to bully anyone or harass anyone, but it's just to create awareness so you guys can see and know what is happening, around you. Stay with me, guys. Let's just see a few videos from him. And I would love to know what you guys think, if he is actually saying the truth about his community. Check these videos out.
Assalamu alaikum. We all want to aim to have the best.
White people have never even liked each other. And why would they? They're awful. White people love to act like they've built the most advanced, unified civilizations, but history suggests they've spent more time fighting, betraying, and resenting one another than actually working together. They waged wars of brutal conquest against their own neighbors. They divided themselves into endless class hierarchies where even the rich barely tolerated each other. Their royal families intermarried so much they caused genetic disasters rather than share power with outsiders. They built entire nations on the idea that some white people weren't white enough. Even today, their political and social divisions are so extreme that they can barely function as societies. At some point, we have to ask, if white people were truly the standard for human civilization, why have they spent history being their own worst enemy? White people spent most of their history slaughtering each other. The 100 Years' War, white people fighting white people for 116 years. The War of Roses, white nobles slaughtering each other for a throne. The English Civil War, white people fighting over how they should govern themselves. The Napoleonic Wars, France versus the rest of white Europe for nearly 2 decades. World War I and II, white people causing global destruction over their own internal disputes. Meanwhile, non-white societies built systems of cooperation. Many indigenous societies maintained peace through complex alliances and trade networks. African kingdoms built economic coalitions instead of destroying each other over minor grievances. Asian dynasties formed diplomatic marriages and power-sharing agreements to avoid unnecessary war. White people weren't building civilizations. They were just taking breaks between wars. White people's social hierarchies have always been built on hating each other. Medieval Europe was structured so that peasants suffered while nobles hoarded wealth. And they still fought amongst themselves. The Catholic and Protestant schism turned Christianity into an excuse for white people to unalive each other for centuries. Aristocrats in every European country looked down on merchants, who looked down on laborers, who looked down on beggars. Pure misery from top to bottom. Even within the same country, they developed regional and class-based divisions that kept them in constant conflict. They created strict racial hierarchies that excluded certain white groups, such as Irish, Italians, and Slavs, until it became politically convenient to include them. Meanwhile, other cultures built more flexible social systems. Indigenous societies often had communal governance rather than rigid feudalism.
Now with this, you guys can take the YouTube link that I put into the chat and watch the rest of this. He's admitting that white people ain't shit. It is you who created all the civilization on the planet, all right? So I don't want to waste too much time. So let's go to the main event. hold on, and find out exactly what it's all about. Now here you got a brother that giving you the sources, all right, about where the African American come from and the origin of the slave trade. All right, so pay attention, please. Please pay attention.
The discovery of the Gold Coast served, indeed, yet more to enlarge the sphere of the navigation of the Portuguese than their slave trade, but it forced them also to extend themselves on the coast and to settle colonies in Congo, Angola, and other places which they had till then neglected. Prince Henry's colonies were enlarged by his successors. King John II, in 1492, expelled all Jews to the island of St. Thomas, Sao Tome, which had been discovered in 1471, and to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. And from these banished Jews, the Black Portuguese, as they are called, and the Jews in Leongo, who are despised even by the very Negroes, are descended.
What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. So many of us out here are doing the hard work in providing for our people to understand who we truly are as a people, especially those who are in Central America, South America, and North America. That these writings that are being found in other countries by their writers, Italy, that you saw, I just did a video on, Spain, that we're going to find, as well as Portuguese, that their writers, their historians, are depicting and showing we people, brothers and sisters who's been over in this transatlantic slave trade, we're the real Jews. Watch this video, and I'll be back.
The Hibernian Magazine, or the Compendium of Entertaining Knowledge. When was this published? We're going to see. 1784. 1784, the New York Public Library. Right. The discovery of the Gold Coast served, indeed, yet more to enlarge the sphere of the navigation of the Portuguese than their slave trade, but it forced them also to extend themselves on the coast and to settle colonies in Congo, Angola, and other places which they had till then neglected. Prince Henry's colonies were enlarged by his successors. King John II, in 1492, expelled all Jews to the island of St. Thomas, Sao Tome, which had been discovered in 1471, and to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. And from these banished Jews, the Black Portuguese, as they are called, and the Jews in Leongo, who are despised even by the very Negroes, are descended. By these colonists, St. Thomas soon became a considerable place of trade and valuable for its sugar plantations. Valuable for its sugar plantations. Isn't that what we just read? That these Jews that were dropped off here, these Portuguese, these people that were deported by the Portuguese, they had a thriving sugar production. It says the climate proved extremely unwholesome for Europeans. The other document said they were stripped naked and left with alligators and other beasts of prey. This one right here is the first time that I'm showing you that we see that they are black. It says that they are black Jews. Again, published in 1784. These are black Jews. Now, they will try to say, we're reading this out of context and black might not mean black. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's look at another source. Yeah, I'd actually, like I said, this is my third time, I think, recording this. So, yeah, it was open a couple times. So now let's go to 1851, a treatise on physical geography, comprising hydrology, geognosy, geology, meteorology, botany, zoology, and anthropology. But I'm showing you guys piece by piece. We know.
Are you a non-U.S. citizen? Do you not have a U.S. Social Security number? Do you
know that there was a place called Judah on the west coast of Africa? We know that they called it that because one of the tribes were believed to be there. And now we see that they are called Portuguese. The Portuguese Jews were called black Jews. So now, We'll come down to here. We need go no further. This is, let me give you this right here. Again, a treatise on physical geography, published 1851. See what other information we can find. And Northwestern University. This is where they got the original from. Northwestern University, 1851. So now, when these urban apologists keep telling you that they debunked all this stuff, make them show you the receipts. Make them show you a video or a peer-reviewed paper showing they debunked this document from Northwestern University. So right here, we need go no further than the Jews of southern Spain. Remember, the Jews from Spain went into Portugal, and compare them with those of Holland and northern Germany to perceive a very striking difference. The Spanish Jew is always dark complexion, and his hair is uniformly black, whilst the German Jew is often as fair as any German and has light or red hair with blue eyes. The various shades of color observable among the Negro or African race tends to the same conclusion. Along the coast of Guinea, which is low, marshy and hot, we find jet black complexions, and this is the very country from which American Negroes have been derived. Again, the various shades of color observable among the Negroes or African race tends to the same conclusion. Along the coast of Guinea, which is low, marshy, and hot, we find jet black complexions, and this is the very country from which the American Negroes have derived. They're talking about the western coast of Africa, where they put those black Jews. Now, this is from Hannah Adams. Now, that was the picture I had up when we first started, and I said we'd come back to it. So let me pull up Hannah Adams again. Hannah Adams is this lady right here. This lady right here. So now, we're going to talk about Hannah Adams because they claim that we're making this history up. So now we know the Portuguese Jews are black. We verified that in two sources. There's going to be more. There's going to be more to come. We know that the Portuguese Jews are connected to West Africa. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So now she has her book. I'm going to read this in two parts. So her book, you read the regular page and it continues just like a regular book. But then in the notes section, when you read it, it continues over to the next page, almost like a tiny book within her book. So first I'm going to read the main part, and then I'm going to come back and read the notes. So right here, the Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. So now all this stuff is connected. So the people on the west coast of Africa called Judah or Judah or Wida or Wida are connected. They were believed to be Jews. We've seen that from a French source and a non-French source. I believe it was an English source. We see that. We see that they are black. We see that they were deported from Portugal because they fled from Spain. Now, the Spanish and Portuguese Jews claim their descent from the tribe of Judah. Now we're getting down to specific tribes. We're getting down to a specific tribe here. And found these pretensions on a supposition which prevails among them that many of their ancestors removed or were sent into Spain at the time of the Babylonian captivity. In consequence of this supposed superiority, they till very lately would not by intermarriage or otherwise incorporate with their brethren of other nations. They had separate synagogues, and if a Portuguese Jew, even in England or Holland, married a German Jewess, he was immediately expelled from the synagogue, deprived of every civil and ecclesiastical right, and ejected from the body of the nation. A late instance has occurred of a Jew in Berlin, this is Germany, who having married the daughter of a Portuguese physician, the parents of the girl went into mourning as for the death of a relation. The manner of the Portuguese Jews differ from the rest of the nation and are more polished. They have nothing peculiar in their dress. The opulent among them vie with the other nations of Europe in refinement, elegance, and show, and they differ from them in worship only. In Portugal, the name of a Jew is a term of such high reproach that the government found it necessary to enact a law which forbade any person to call another by that appellation. If a man who is styled a Jew to his face stabs the offender, the law does not condemn him, and trifling as this regulation may appear, it has produced beneficial effects. So now, the name Jew was outlawed to the point that if you called someone a Jew, they could stab you and not be held guilty. Yale is a university. This map is from 1774, Yale. So the first thing I'm going to show you, because her and Damon Richardson lied and said Judah wasn't on the west coast of Africa, it wasn't named after them. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a map from 1774. This is Africa, performed by the Senior Danville under the patronage of the Duke of Orleans, revised and improved by Mr. Bolden and E. Bowen. Emmanuel Bowen is the one who made the map that we see the most. I believe it's the 1747 map. We see that the most because it's part of his famous collection in which it shows Judah on the west coast of Africa, the kingdom of Judah. And they say that that map has been debunked. But here Emmanuel Bowen works on another map that they claim, that, remember, they will tell you that they've debunked a lot of the Israelite evidence. Yet they don't touch this map right here, 1774, another map Emmanuel Bowen worked on for the Duke of Orleans. We're going to look at this map bigger. Still, you see library.yale.edu. This map has been enlarged already because it's such a large file. It takes a few seconds to get bigger. So Negretia. Now remember, she said we misinterpret this evidence. We make this evidence up, right? Now I'm going to build a case. I'm going to slowly build this case up because I want you to see how thoroughly and how much information there is for her to sit there and lie and say this information outright does not exist. So right here, according to Idrisi, the land hereabout was peopled by Jews. According to Idrisi, the land hereabout was peopled by Jews. This is the west coast of Africa. You can see this right here. This is the area I'm looking in, right here where the yellow box is. This is the area, Lamlin, right here. Now we come down here and read this square right here. It says, all Negretia from the head of the Sanaga is very little known, but the situation of this great region as described by Ptolemy, joined with the knowledge of Idrisi, the Nubian geographer, and Leo the African, agrees with several new discoveries, all uniting to verify their accounts. I therefore conclude that the Niger flows from west to east and has an affinity with the Sanaga, or has no affinity with the Sanaga or any part thereof, but falls into the lakes that communicate with the river Nile. So now, he's talking about the Niger River. The Niger River is going to come up again, and that's why I read that. So now, this area right here is peopled by Jews. The Niger River is mentioned here. You see the kingdom of the Homi, whose prince subdued the states of Ardra and Wida, W-I-D-A, pay attention to the spelling, about the year 1724.
Hold on.
Today I just received my lens from MRY.
You see Ardra here, you see Wida here, on the slave coast. Ardra, Wida. Remember Wida, W-I-D-A. So now, this map, all these links will be in the description to the maps and everything else. So now, right here, this is a French website, gallica.bnf.fr. This is a French website. This is from 1890, May 1st, 1890. So we go down to here. Let me make sure. All right, text. Now I'm going to copy part of this text, right? Wida, Vita, we're going to grab this right here. Now, their whole point was, we're going to come back to this. I'm going to pull her up again. Their whole point was that Wida was not named after the tribe of Judah. So now what I'm going to do is a French to English translation, and I'm going to paste the text into here that I just copied. Now, according to Google Translate, you see me do this right here. Wida, Vita, Weda, a Wida, Judah, or a Judah is a city old, frequented since the 16th century by Portuguese slavers. This word is split up, but it's supposed to be Portuguese. Portuguese slavers who gave it its name. Its inhabitants were said to be Judoquays, and they were indeed considered to be a remnant of scattered tribes of Israel. To the north, the Alala River, whose real name is Ephra, had become Euphrates for scholars. So now, it says they were indeed considered to be a remnant of scattered tribes of Israel. So now we are establishing that this land called Wida or Wida contained people who were said to be one of the scattered tribes of Israel, right? This is in this French document right here on BNF or gallica.bnf.fr. This is from France. I'll give you guys the link. This is from Bulletin Society I'm not going to try to pronounce all this geography. And again, this is from 1890. So now we still haven't tied it to us, though. We've just shown that, yes, there is a place in West Africa named after Judah. It is said that the Jew or tribe lived there. One of the tribes of Israel was there. So now let's see if we can find any consistency in this. So now the Jews of Spain and Portugal and the Inquisition. This is published in 1877 by Princeton Theological Seminary. So when you hear these urban apologists saying they debunk the Israelite sources, ask them to show you the video or documentation of them debunking this source from Princeton Theological Seminary. Ask them to show you the source or the video of them debunking the map from Yale. Ask them to show you these things because they keep making these claims. So anyway, the Jews of Spain and Portugal, we're on page 68 of 148. The link will be in the description for you to read yourself. You can see it's not a screenshot. This is the whole book. If I do this, the page will turn. All right. Thus was Spain deprived of her large Jewish population. The synagogues were purified and used as Christian churches. The vast sums of money which were owed to the Jews and the still larger amounts which they were forced to leave behind them found their way partly into the hands of their debtors, or still more into those of the sovereign. The chief professors of medicine were sent out of the country to the terrible inconvenience of the population, and trade and industry languished till they almost died out. Unfortunately, at the time of the expulsion, the plague was raging in Castile, and the fugitives brought with them the disease, propagating it wherever they went, and not unnaturally causing their advent to be viewed with loathing and horror. This circumstance induced King John to hasten their departure from Portugal, for which purpose ships were duly provided according to the agreement. But such was the temper of the captains and sailors that they subjected the Jews to the hardest possible conditions. They plundered them of their goods and valuables, even to their very clothes, and landed them naked and bare of everything on barren points of the African coast, leaving them to die of starvation or to be sold into slavery to the Moors. Nor was this all. The king wrested from their parents all children from between the ages of 3 and 10 of those Jewish immigrants who from poverty or otherwise had omitted to pay the capitation tax on entering, or who were forced to remain in Portugal, and had them transported to the newly discovered islands of St. Thomas, which is the same as Sao Tome, which then swarmed with alligators and other beasts of prey to be brought up as Christians. So he's telling you, the Jews were deported out of Portugal because they didn't pay the tax, and they had their children stripped away and sent to this island where there were alligators and other beasts of prey. This is another source from Princeton Theological Seminary, published 1882, The Earth and Its Inhabitants. Right here, page 320 of 628. The link will be in the description. East of Great Popo begins the Dahomey territory, guarded by the important town of Glewe, known to Europeans by the various names of Fida, Hasida, Wida, or Wida, W-I-D-A. I told you to remember that because of the map. W-I-D-A.
Yeah, hold on.
W-I-D-A, same place.
Go ahead.
Brother, you've been going for at least an hour and 40 minutes. I think it's time to put a halt to it. We only got like 20 minutes left. And let's just talk about what you put on. Okay. So the information that you did share with us, Sister Cassie, before I start, what's your take on the stuff Isaiah shared?
Oh, Lord, have mercy. I don't even know what to say.
Well, I'm not done yet, don't we? Y'all gonna be looking at
Honey,
just allow this. Hold on. Just allow this to run out, and then I'm gonna get to the meat and bone of it. Just let
You
this
should have
play
been
out.
to the meat and bone. It does not take that long to get to the meat and bone.
Look, but I'm doing it in a. Hold on,
Idea. We have
hold
gone a whole show.
Are you bored? Are you bored?
Yes,
Are you bored?
Yes.
You finding
I don't
it
know
bored?
what you was talking about. I'm just saying.
You're not.
You
Look.
got to, no. When you're doing this, you got to get to the point. You cannot take 10 hours to get there and then say, hold on, nothing. I done got sleepy up here. I don't know what the hell you I'm nodding everything. I don't know what you was talking about.
Go to bed. That's what you gotta do. Go to bed. All right. Well, look. I'm gonna get to it right now. Hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stop, Isaiah.
An hour and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we still waiting. You ain't said none of the points. You ain't got to none of the points. None.
Well, hold on. Look. You know, I explained what I was doing at the beginning, didn't I not?
Isaiah, you cannot lag on for an hour and
But
a half.
allow. Hold on. Allow this one to play out, and then when I get to it, right now.
No, that's how much longer is that?
Allow it. We got 5. We got how many minutes? You got
what is that
5. You got 5 minutes.
Prove, though? What is that going to prove? Tell me what that's proving right there.
Look at the name.
Tell me what it was proving. What did it prove? What did it prove?
It proved, baby girl.
Yeah, you don't even
calm
know.
Calm down.
What did you prove right there with that?
Hold on. Are you laughing or are you going to let me talk?
Come on, I'm letting you talk. Go ahead.
Okay. It proves that the African American who are the direct descendants of the Jews who took up residence in West Africa, better known as Negroland, from Spain and Portugal. At some point after Titus and the Roman Emperor at that point decimated the Jews, they were traveled or transported to Spain and Portugal. Some 1,000 or more years after that, they took up the name of Negro, Yaya Negro. Now, if you allow me to play this one out, I'm going to get to that as a wrap-up video, okay? Can I do that?
Brother Isaiah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've been going on for over an hour and 40 minutes.
Look, bro, I explained. Now, if y'all had a problem with why didn't y'all bring this shit up from before?
Bro, we didn't think you were going to take a whole hour and 45 minutes.
I gave you guys, I was telling you guys this is the foundation. I had to make the distinction between white people and black people, who they were and who they are not.
We already know the difference between white people and black people. We already know that. We already know the difference between white people and black people. We already know that. We already know that. You see, this is the point, is that a lot of valuable time that you could have been using on your topic on Isabella and the slave trade.
We never got to that.
Well, we got time.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We only going up to 2 hours.
Isaiah, how long you need?
It's not that long, baby girl. Not that long.
It's been
hold on, because all the time we've been talking. Hold on, all the time we've been talking, we could allow this video to play out, and I could have gone on to proving that Isabella and King Ferdinand were black. And
is it gonna be in this video here?
No.
No. You should have been okay. You should have got to that video first. You did all of this talking, and the point still hasn't been proven. I don't know how you do it too much.
Baby girl, let this one play out, and then I get right to it.
You should have got to it before this one.
Let me do it the way that I felt was good to do. And allow people at the very end to see what I'm talking about. Period.
At the very end of what, Isaiah? The tape right here.
Hold on, baby. Hold on. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, and you ain't crazy either, and Brother
Ooh,
Maurice ain't crazy either, and all the people in the comments are not crazy either.
we're not saying that.
What I
Isaiah, you still
let
get to the point. You don't have to
this
take an
one,
hour and
let
49
Brother,
minutes to get
Brother
there.
Maurice, Sister Kathy, let this one play out, then I get to it. All
You
right, because all the
you should
time
have
we
been
just
into
been
it.
talking.
Do you? I'm gonna take a
Let this one play out. It's going to show that the African Americans were the descendants of the people of West Africa, but the West Africa that we were taught were not Africans. They were Jews who were under the Manuelian order to be kicked out of Spain, to be kicked out of Portugal by King John. King John. And that order was done by the Pope under the papacy. All right. So allow me to continue and do this. All right. Is that cool?
Bro, stop.
All right. Go ahead. All right. And let's
It's
play this
important to
out.
establish this so the urban apologists can't wiggle their way out of anything. Same place. So let me get back. The old writers called it Judah. So now we know why the 1747 Emmanuel Bowen map says Judah. Now we know why this one says Witta. It says, and its inhabitants were said to be Jews.
Yeah.
While the neighboring
hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. We're at an hour and 50 minutes. We only got 10 minutes left of the program.
Well, now, see, you told me if it comes up too before the show started, if it comes up and bump up against 2 hours, we'll get another hour. We talked about that.
We talked about it, but I thought you was going to be presenting your stuff soon as we started.
Well, I got another hour. It's not going to take another hour, but I got another hour.
Everybody's complaining, bro.
Look,
listen. It's just not me and Cassie complaining. Everybody's complaining.
Allow me to calm that complaint. Allow it to play out, and then we'll get to it.
Everybody gave you 2 hours, and you're still not at your point. You don't understand. This is like
I know what you're talking about. I can feel the anxiousness. I know what you're talking about.
Well, then you really need to get on it, like right now.
But let this one play out.
No,
then I get that.
We done with that.
Okay, no. It's only 5 more minutes. What's going on?
We done with it. Get to your real stuff.
This is part of it. It says the 1784 book tells exactly where African Americans came from, and it's not where you think. Just trust me. Let this one play out. It's only 5 minutes, and then I get to the true, real deal Holyfield. All right. All right.
You skating on real thin ice, brother Isaiah.
I look like I'm getting on everybody's nerves, but believe me, in the end, you're gonna see it. Let me do this.
That long because I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, I understand, but let me do this, sir, please. All right. Let it play out. Let it play out.
Alala, whose real name is Ephra, became the Euphrates. Didn't we just read that in the French source? That they were believed to be a tribe of Israel. So now we have 2 different sources here. 2 different sources. Let me see here. All right. So now I was gonna. So anyway, this was published 1882. 2 different sources. The other one was published 1890. So this one predates that source by 8 years. 8 years. So we have 2 sources saying that these are definitely Judah. And it says, during the flourishing days of the slave trade from 16 to 18,000 were annually transported from a Judah, as the Portuguese called this place, which at the time had a population of 35,000. The titular deity of Witta is the snake, and the famous fetish temple is served by priestesses called mothers or sisters of serpents and recruited by the abduction of young girls on feast days. So some of them will tell you that it couldn't have been Israel because they worshipped a snake, and I would encourage you to go look up Nehushtan in the Bible. It was the brass serpent that Moses made that they began to worship. So snake worship isn't outside of Israel's history. But understand here, The Portuguese would call them this. Why would the Portuguese call them this? Because the Portuguese were the ones deporting Jews to West Africa. So, of course, they called it Judah. So now, we still haven't established anything specific as to whether they were black or European. So let's continue.
When I started using this DIY device to generate free electricity at home, my friends laughed at
this book right here, brown.edu. So when the urban apologists come and say they debunked our sources, make sure you get the receipts that they debunked this document from brown.edu. Portuguese exploration to the west and the formation of Brazil, 1450 to 1800. So I went ahead and went down to page 17, brown.edu. You want to go down to page 17. You want to go to point 14 right here. Now listen to what happened to these people, and you tell me if you believe that European children did this. Just tell me if you think this makes sense, happening off the west coast of Africa, where we just read that there were alligators and other beasts of prey. It says, by the year 1470, the Portuguese had found the equatorial island of Sao Tome. That's the same as St. Thomas, in the Ghanaian Gulf off the African coast. The climate proved to be extremely unwholesome for Europeans. Extremely unwholesome for Europeans, and settlement was slow. The official chronicler of King Jao II, that's King John, Garcia de Rezende, reports on one of the methods to populate this island that also throws some light on a tragic form of Jewish participation in the Portuguese Atlantic Empire. The king had allowed Jewish refugees from Spain, from where they had been expelled in 1492. Notice the consistency. She said we misinterpret history. To remain in Portugal only in return for payment of an enormous ransom. In 1493, those who could not pay had their children taken away from them, baptized by force, and deported to Sao Tome in order to be raised as Christians and to help populate the island that the king had just leased to Alvaro de Camina at the annual rent of 100,000 reis. Nothing is known of their further fate, although later chroniclers attribute the thriving sugar production on the island to the talents of those deported children and their offspring. So now she wants you to believe that white people were stripped butt naked, thrown in West Africa with alligators, beasts of prey, white children, and somehow survived to develop a thriving sugar economy. This is what the urban apologists want you to believe.
What do you think? Let me say this in closing. I'm going to continue on to find the truth. And the end of this year, I will be in Portugal, Spain, as well as in Morocco. And it's going to give me an awesome opportunity to connect, hopefully with some guides out there and historians, that we can unpeel the lie that has been told about those who were already settled in these countries, who were considered the Jews, who were dispelled and kicked out, where they were scattered on the islands and even on the coast of Africa. Stay tuned as I begin to show you more proof. This is your man, not your boy.
Okay, so now we're going to go on to the real deal Holyfield. Hold on, because I was really trying to...
But Isaiah, you got exactly 3 minutes.
Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Now this is coming from a guy by the name of Neophyte, but this is based on the video that I sent to you. This is the transcript of that video. All right. So it says Black Christopher Columbus, Black Queen Isabella, Black King Ferdinand, and the Roman Catholics' Eagle New World journey from Rome to America. All right. So I'm going to skip all the way down because I don't want to waste no more time than what's been going on. But I tried to, because this is only showing up on my computer, because you got you got to download it from the video on YouTube. So hold on.
So this is your proof.
Yeah, you got all of it. Don't you see the name of the books that this guy uses? The sources, the evidence? Hold on. The Voyage of Columbus. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I wish I could do it from the beginning all the way until now. But anyway, their desire to see Spain prosper financially and to see it rise from a fragmented assortment of kingdoms to become the most dominant nation in Europe, if not the entire world. As the most powerful bond between Isabella and Ferdinand, although something of an egomaniac, Ferdinand was no less committed to Spain's greatness. Ferdinand was only slightly taller than his diminutive bride Isabella, with a ruddy face, bushy auburn eyebrow. Now, ruddy means red complexion or dark. Ferdinand was of the middle stature, well proportioned from this book here. Well proportioned and hardy and active, ruddy complexion, and his complexion dark. So you can see where to give the description of what ruddy means. Ferdinand now realized that he must join her immediately. So this is another book talking about this. This is written, I don't understand, but it's a pretty old book. And the women rulers of Europe. The Prince of Aragon and King of Sicily as his father had designated
3 minutes.
Okay. Bypass King Enrique, men who lurked everywhere and safely reached. Hold on, let me read it. Yeah.
I said you had 3 minutes. You already over your 3 minutes. So
I'm already over my 3 minutes. Well, okay. Well, here it is. You got swarthy complected, Ferdinand. Now, are we going to give me some more minutes, like we agreed on?
Bro, stop. Just stop. Because when you got myself, you got Sister Cassie, and you got the chat complaining, right? Now we were let you go on and on and on, and people was telling you, hey, get to the point. You're not talking about anything you're supposed to be talking about. And so it's been 2 hours, and you still hadn't made your first point. You showing us
this is my point here.
Us Facebook and all of this stuff, YouTube video, but bro, I don't think this type of presentation you're really good at putting together, and maybe you need to work on it. But I thought you was going to come out the gate hitting on your points to, prove exactly what you're saying, and that's not what you did. So a whole 2-hour program literally just got wasted, and you ain't even got to the subject matter of what you're supposed to be talking about.
Brother Maurice, now, before we started the show, I told you what I was going to do. I told you that. Now, I was telling you, if we bump up against 2 hours, give me a little bit more time. Because I wanted to be hold on. Because this is it.
You did not tell me that you wasn't going straight to your thing. I didn't know you was going to be talking about stuff that we already agree on. We already know who the white man is. There's no disagreement on that. I didn't know you was going to waste time talking about stuff like that. Because I'd have told you there's no need to talk about that. We already know that. Go straight to your points. And Mayat kept telling you, Go to your point. Go to your point. Go to your point. Cassie's saying it. Go to your point. Go to your point. I'm telling you, go to your point, and you're not listening. You're just square away on what you think and how you want to represent it, but it ain't working. And we just wasted 2 hours of the people's time because you're not even jumping in to where you need to go. And now you're telling us, give you more time, give you more time. Ain't no more time to give.
Bro, this is the piece of information that tells you that King Ferdinand or Ferdinand and Queen Isabella were black. Now, are you going to allow me to
show it first? You should have showed that first. You should have showed that first. You have to get to your point. You only have so many seconds or minutes to get to, or else people going to tune out. Because I don't remember nothing. I just, after certain minutes, I'm done. There's no more, nothing. Because I don't even know what we did here today. 2 hours. We talked around the bush. And now you're talking about, hey, give me more time. For what? You should have gotten to the point immediately. You don't go 2 hours and then say, oh, I'm going to get to the point now. Well, people are done. We tired. We sleepy. We hungry. We're done. There's no more. We can't fit no more in. You have to get to that point. You should have got to that 2 hours ago. That should have been the first thing you pulled up because that's the point you were trying to make, right? You went around the bush. And now I'm talking about, hold on, here I go. I'm ready now. Well, just saying. Come on, you got to get to the point immediately. You can't go around the bush first. Earth's like she eating dinner now. You done made so hungry and sleepy.
Well, y'all going to sleep. Y'all going to sleep. I understand, but based on the conversation before this show started, I talked to Brother Marie. And we agreed that if we bumped up against 2 hours, just give me a little bit more time. Because it's just a 8.
Why would it be 2 hours? Why would it be why would it be around the bush like that? Why would you take 2 hours?
But I'm not beating around. I'm only giving the foundation in which I wanted to work from.
The foundation. People are locked out. They don't even know what you was talking about now. They don't even know what you was trying to say. Because you had all that stuff. You got a lot. They don't understand. You can't feed people like that. That's not how people learn. You took 2 hours to get to it and still talking about, hold on what? I don't even know where we're going now. I don't even know what you're trying to say. That should have been the first thing you said. Okay, here is the proof with Ferdinand and whoever. I don't even know the other person you talk, Queen somebody. See, I don't even know who you was trying to talk about. You got to get to the point because people, attention span, we're lost. We're done. Go ahead, Maurice.
So, Isaiah, this was done in good faith. But I didn't know it, and I understand about trying to lay a base, but you have to take some things in consideration of a base already being laid that we don't need to just keep popping on something that we already know, and that's why we're saying to you, just get straight to the point, and that way people will follow on, and I mean, even the website that you talked about, africasource.com. I went to that. That's why I asked you, what is the website? So I can pull that up and see what it's talking about. That website don't even exist any longer. A damn thing, domain is up for sale. So, you got to have your information. You got to have it in a sequential order. You should have already checked your facts to make sure that everything is squared away. And it just wasn't. So, you just have to do better. You just have to do better with organizing your material, presenting your material. Nobody want to sit around and watch a 15-minute video. You got to be able to break that stuff down. Boom, 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 do, 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 do. I mean, we gave you a swing at it, and you just striked out. I mean, we earnestly gave you a swing at it, and you striked out. We don't even know where the damn thing is. And
What is? Don't know where what is.
We don't need where your point is that you're trying to make.
Okay.
We don't know. And so don't take this in a negative way. Take it in a positive way that look,
I do, but yeah, like you were saying, you were understanding the foundation which I was building it on. But now in this particular document, it's showing with all of the resources and evidences on the screen where you can see where it says King Ferdinand was for thee, and down back here, Isabella was for thee, and so on and on and on and on. So, but if you don't want to continue, allow me to play this last video, then it's 10 minutes long in order to show you. Hold on, let me make this point.
We're out of time. This is a 2-hour.
Well, that's not what we agreed on. So I want to say to everybody else that's not what we agreed on. But I understand.
Listen,
if you had told me that was only for 2 hours, I would have been very aware and more concentrated than.
Why would you want to take 2 hours to get to the point? Seriously, why would you want to take 2 hours to get to the point? That video you finna show, what did you finna show? That should have been your first video. Taken. Seriously, why would it take 2 hours? This was a waste of time. We can't.
Well,
we don't have a waste of time to get Black folk to change this. We don't have time to waste time. It's stuff that they needed to understand, and they didn't get it. So this was time wasted. You can't go around the bush and around the mountain and then come back and say, okay, here it is. People are done. They was done probably an hour ago, 30 minutes, hour and 30 minutes ago. You lost them. We can't take that long to do what we're trying to do. We're trying to build here.
Exactly.
And we don't have time to waste time. This stuff is, we are at a 911 right now.
Oh, shit. There we go.
We are at a 911. You laughing. We are at a 911.
No, I'm being very serious. That's the reason why.
That right there, we didn't get none of that. You can't waste time. That's no.
No.
I don't even know what to say now.
And Isaiah, when we talked earlier today about, if you need extra time, I didn't have a problem with it because I'm thinking you're going to go straight to your thing. And, we're learning stuff, you're building stuff. So if we come up against the time, we can go ahead and go over a little bit. But that wasn't the case. That just wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. Instead of you going at it and building up with what you got, you didn't. You waste time being on stuff that there was no need to deal with. So, at this point, it's a strikeout. It is what it is. But, we got to move on. It's time to move on. And I'm sorry you didn't get straight to your point because I wish you had. I was prepared for you to go and show what you got so we can see, and then we go over it. I mean, even Mayat told you in the beginning, you better go ahead and cook. You better go ahead and cook. And you just wasn't doing that. You was giving stuff that didn't need to be given. So with that, I would apologize to our chat. The program didn't go exactly the way that we thought it was going to go. But I believe Brother Isaiah did his best with what he knows how to present. So, he's going to have to brush up on that a little bit and, try it again. Have to brush up on it.
Well, I would say this. I appreciate everybody coming, but I really wanted to present it in such a way that you could see it and understand it from a historical standpoint, and that who the white folks are and who they're not, and who we are and who we are not, like them, and to be able to understand that when Portugal and the Inquisition started, that's when almost the transatlantic slave trade started. That was like 10 years short. So when you're looking at the Jews of Portugal, whose name they changed to Negro, they were being kicked out from King Manuel and King John out of Portugal and Spain. So when they got kicked out, they occupied a great area known as Negro land, and then you can see it where it says the kingdom of Judah, like the guy was saying in the last video, and they multiplied, but they were in constant threat of being transported. And so that's exactly what happened. The Portuguese and the Spanish were taking those so-called Jews, not African, Negroes, of which the Jews called themselves, renamed themselves Yaya or Negro. So when they arrived in Virginia in 1619, you got I forget the woman. I think it's Isabel or something like that, or Antonio Negro. That's not a definition. That is what the name they took. These were not slaves. These were prisoners of war, right? So when you look at, and if I wish I could play it, but you know, I'm up against time. If I had known that, I would have been able to show you a consistent, detailed list of people, places, and things that happen. But I'm not able to do that, so it'll only take another half an hour. But I'll digress into something else. But I appreciate everyone that came along and everybody that watched it. Know for a fact that these people weren't African. The African did not change, or the name for the African, the normal so-called African, did not take up the name of Negro until after 1570. Before then, that name belonged to and pertained to black Jews. And I hate saying black Jew or black with Jew because it's understood that the Jews were black. All right. So when you look at the old maps of the west coast of Africa, that was nothing but Jews, and especially on the island of San Tome or St. Thomas. So with that, and if you ever get a chance to go to YouTube and look up Benaiah Israel, and let me say this. Let me find it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. The prophecy. Okay, hold on. Let me get at least get that on. Okay, here we go. At least let me get that onto the chat, and then we'll be done. All right. So I apologize. I did not get to this, but I took a time stamp on this particular video. It's called Uncovering the Truth About King David, the Hidden Hebrews, and what that meant, the Lancados. Then you got a whole lot of other names that are being used. Watch this video, and then hold on. Let me see where this string already. Okay, so here we go. Watch the video and all the videos pertaining to the children of Israel, the tribe of Judah. This is where African Americans are. Not only that, of the Indian legacy and tradition. So there you go. Did you put it up?
Yeah, is that
okay? All right. And Walter and Realm of the Bush, and Realm in the Bush says it, Ron Dalton. But like I said, I apologize. I was thinking I had enough time to present what I wanted to present first, and then we go straight on into what it was all about. You are not slaves in America. You were prisoners of war. We came about the America through the slave so-called trade that was dominated by the Portuguese and by the Spanish. So, but watch that video and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Benaiah Israel and all the videos and other things too I wasn't able to get into. But I appreciate it. I really do, my people. But next time when we come to an agreement, Brother Marie, please allow that to happen. Because I was just about to get into that, but I understand. No problem. No problem.
Brother Isaiah, I don't want you to misrepresent, because I did say, yeah, if you're into it and we bump up against the time, we can expand. But I didn't think you was going to use a whole 2 hours and not even get on your subject. I thought you would be going right into your subject.
That is part of the but I understand what you're saying. Don't think I don't know or I don't appreciate it. But the whole thing about me is, and if I'd have known that, hey, well, don't talk about white folks. We already know about. I would have cut that shit loose. You know what I mean. But the idea is still the same. You got to understand history. You got to understand and read the truth. We were not slaves in America. We the original American Indian as well. And those Jews, known as the Lancado and other names, were black people. It had nothing to do with white folks. It was a Christian on Jewish fight with the papacy and with the fact that Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand were all on board with Christianity. It had nothing to do with white folk. White folk just started talking some 1,000 years ago. How can they ever even create a boat? They didn't. They got that technology and a lot of other things from us. What did Martha? It's not really about her skin color or ethnic. Isabella was a devout Catholic. There it is. That's it. That's the point I was trying to make. Boom, 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 boom. And it was about, as I shown in that in the book, and the guy named whatever name it was, that it's telling you that King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella were black. If you saw that little bit of blurb in it, but they were black. No if, no ands, and buts. And you talk about other people in that video as well. So, but hold on. But I understand. I understand. But I like being solid, man. You know what I mean? I don't like bullshitting. And I understand, and probably who white folks are, but I don't know other people in the chat. They know.
I'm quite sure everybody in this chat knows.
Yeah, well, but
I'm quite sure everybody knows who the damn cracker is.
I'm sure they know. Everybody deal with them demons every day.
Yeah,
I can't wait to separate from their ass.
Absolutely. But like I was saying, I appreciate the time. I apologize to everybody in the chat. It's not my fault. It's not nobody's fault. But I just like being thorough. So with that being said,
you was thorough. Trust me, we got it. You were so thorough. You were so thorough.
But you thorough. Well, that you can't have enough. You can't have enough.
You had plenty. You had plenty.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the time. I wish that y'all could have seen the video with by Benaya Israel, but check it out. It's in the chat. I'm going to put it here again, and it tells you, or he tells you, and give you the evidences as to what happened. All right, it gives you the evidence as to what happened. It's an hour-long video. I wasn't going to play it. You know what I mean? Because it was an hour long, but it was the timestamp evidences that I wanted to point out, and there was also a. Hold on, give me a minute. There was also an 8-minute one. No, there was an 8-minute one.
Him and Ron Dalton are on the same page with that Hebrews to Negroes book.
Here we go. Have you heard of Negro Land? All right, so I'm going to put that in the, hold on, where am I at? Okay, here we go. I'm going to put that in the chat. But you got to be aware of what is going on, how it happened, why it happened, where it happened. It had nothing to do with white folks. They too fucking stupid.
So black folks enslaved black folks. Black folks did all the negative stuff to black folks.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah, just watch the video. Don't and read books that they are talking about that give you references to what needs to be said and done. It was a religious war, not no racial thing. And stop giving white folks the platform and the credibility that they don't deserve. They don't deserve it.
Stop. I gotta go. Time.
Okay.
Your closing comment.
Oh boy, this was I don't have no clothes, nothing. Oh, thank you, Isaiah.
Yeah. I understand.
All right, family. We'll definitely. We thank everybody for coming out and participating, showing us your love. Definitely, we thank Brother Isaiah for doing his best that he could do. We definitely appreciate you, bro, and we love you. Just time
Well,
is
I
up.
appreciate it.
Definitely. So as we always say, you
kill a nigga, and you and I kill a nigga, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first, today, tomorrow, and forever. Love you, fam. I appreciate it. And all you remember for the next 365, 724, stay black and fuck all white folks.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Love y'all.
So you better get the message and get it straight. You're going to need some bridge work. It's simple as that. Because we're living in judgment. We're living in implementation.